I'm almost done eating cereal. 2 more minutes. I realized it's 1. I was like, oh crap. Almost done. Hello, my beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the Tavern. We are sculpting another lovely Patreon request today. Today is going to be the Umbrella Spear Monk, drawn by our lovely one and only Just Lingual. So yeah, this will be fun. If you're thinking, didn't we just do a Just Lingual stream? Yeah, well, I sent him, he bought a collector's crate, and it got stolen, so I gave him a free priority ticket, so it is Capitar. And then his wife won the painting contest. So they won another priority ticket. So more. It's awesome. So yeah, this will be fun. This will be a good time. Also, we have a very, very important question of the day today, presented by the one and only Aloha. You can choose one minion below to join your fantasy adventure. What is their name/role? And we have a little frog, aardvark, whatever that is, a unicorn, and whatever that is. We have one pick for the last one, Mubs. I picked this thing. I named it Screm. Prevents one instance of what would normally be a death blow by throwing an object at the enemy's head. Unfortunately, this object tends to be a rare gem. And then Paint mentioned his little friend will probably help run a tea shop. So those are our two early answers. This was just posted, so don't feel like you are missing out. But if you want to answer, hop over to Discord and give your little answer. These questions of the day have been giving me life. They've been really good, really, really good. Thank you, Aloha. When I'm not trying to fire you, I think you do a good job. Alright. Who do we got here? We got Paint, Yoni, Aloha, Sean, Mahusmind, and Just Lingual. Hello, hello to everybody. And Otaka. I don't think I missed anyone. If I did, it wasn't intentional. So, hello. Need to be clear to make sure I don't mumble. Wasn't intentional. Wasn't, not was. Yeah. DM from Aloha, is it important? Oh yeah, I saw that too. Another one with like cute, cozy, like idle buddy games. Yeah, I do like that. It was important. Alright. I think this is it. Do you guys want to be on topic and get straight to today's stream, or do you want to see what I've been working on the last 3 days? I've been working on a grim, dark clergy, church people set. So, nuns with guns. Oh, awesome! Just Lingual said, fun fact, my engineering capstone won an award. Huzzah! That's awesome! Congratulations! Hello, hello, Optimistical. I'm blanking right now what your last request was. All I remember is that I liked it, and it's not very helpful. But whatever you requested recently, it stuck with me, and obviously, I guess. My brain's an emotional brain, so I remember like how that made me feel as opposed to what things were. Anyway. Thanks for supporting on Patreon, requesting cool stuff. Aloha said if they don't get Grimdark Showcase, they're going to Scrim. Alright, that's about what I expected. Alrighty, so here is, in a mature way, okay, I'm sure. Here is the terrain that I made. We have this really cool Necromancer throne, and fun fact, I did not sculpt anything new for this. This was purely a kit bash based on the prior pieces. So that would have been like a really good stream to do to show you guys how I did that, wouldn't it? Anyway, I made this first. This was the first thing I made, was this small candelabra, and then I took the candles, made a pile, and then I just took this candelabra, split off some of the arms to make a larger version. A really good trick to keep sense of scale is to find objects like this emblem I picked here, which is like, I was like paranoid. I'm like, is that copyrighted? I'm like, it's kind of Warhammer, it's kind of Gears of War. I'm like, it's a skull in a circle, I'm fine. Anyway, so yeah, keeping an emblem like this and keeping it kind of the same size across different elements, and you'll kind of get an accurate sense of scale. This is why it's so important that the head size of your characters is about the same regardless of height. That's why I say big monsters, little head. Really, it's like the same size head. It's just proportional to the rest of their body. Alright, so we made this. And then the next thing that I made was these Grimdark pews. I went ahead and made 2 because it was a lot of work and I wanted more out of it. So this is the pew that I made. Pretty simple. Let's get rid of this little fabric thing. Here we go. And then we have 2 different versions. I have the Decoration 1 and Decoration 2. So the fabric I made new for this, but the candles were taken from the candelabra. And then everything from here, I mean, I really just grab cubes and then extrude some poly loops with Z Remesher, and then, not Z Remesher, with Z Modeler, and I sculpt directly on top of that. And then finally, I took all these components and I kit bashed together this throne. I cannot stress that enough. I did not sculpt anything for this. I just assembled. It's pretty much just the church pews, but tall. Yeah. Let me go back through my quick saves. I might be able to find some cool before and afters. Here we go. This is what the church pew looked like initially. I just blocked things out with our basic shapes. Again, very, very basic. Sculpting all of these took about 3 hours start to finish. I couldn't have done that on stream. It would have taken me like 9. And here is another point in the modeling process where I was trying to incorporate this like filigree thing, and it was just too pretty. I just couldn't incorporate it. It just didn't want to be pretty, so I gave up on that. How did you do that spine over the top of the chair? That is from a skeleton brush. Let me go ahead and grab that. This is one of those brushes that was available for free on Bad King before Bad King fell apart, or whatever the fuck happened to it. Anyway, here it is. Skeleton brush, and then there was this spine. Like so. I took the spine, and then I grabbed my gizmo, clicked on the location icon so it's centered, the gear, and then bend curve. So now that I've bent curve, I can add nodes to this and I can stretch it so that it fits on top of the chair, just like that. Great question. Your on-topic question has bought you 1 instance of hooliganism. All right. What's another good before and after? Yeah, so it was at this point when I was working on the chair that actually I genuinely started to feel bad that I didn't stream it, because the chair started off like this and I got to that finished product within 22 minutes. I timed myself because I thought it would be fun to see how quickly I could kit bash out of the pieces that I had already made. So you can tell right here, because literally you look at this, it's each one of these are 3 minutes apart. So 36, 9, 12, 15, 18, yeah. And then this is me sitting with my computer on. But anyway, we went from this, here's like the halfway point, I guess. Aloha, please don't quit. I'm doing stuff now. I'm doing a cool breakdown now. I'm showing the thing. And then to this in 22 minutes. And again, speed is not everything. I was just really proud that the pieces I had made had fit together in a way that they were very reusable. So that felt really good. Yeah. Sean says those look great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about this. So in addition to Patreon getting this like spotlight pack every month, this month is Brood of Beast. Super cute. We're launching a painting contest for that today. Collector's Crate will go live today too. I might take a break on stream and then just publish the Collector's Crate live. If you let me know, I can send you many that are painting contest eligible. What else? Oh, but in addition to the huge drops on Patreon every beginning of the month, I'm doing 2 smaller drops that'll be more themed. And they're still all Patreon requests, but I add 1 to 2 models that are my own. So this was a Patreon request for a necromancer throne, but the candelabras I just made for fun. I made this and the pews for fun. Because it just rounded out, by making these 2 pieces, it made this other collection really, really come together, which is really fun. So yes. But yeah, if you have a 3D printer and you've been on the fence about joining Patreon, we have the formula, and like, formula sounds so robotic, but like, I have such a good workflow going that the amount of content we're putting out every month right now is pretty insane. And then here are the nuns. So this is the base that I started with. So I haven't finished the flamethrower nun. I worked on the flamethrower this morning, actually my husband telling me like, move this, because I was like, what is this supposed to look like? Anyway. But this is the base that I used, and I just used the exact identical base to create the ammo chest nun. My plan was to have her hold it like an offering, but the ammo crate was too big. So I did this instead, and now I have another new terrain piece, so huzzah. So this is one of the 3 nuns. Here is the other one. These are technically the exact same model. All I did was change the hairstyle. I went ahead and mirrored the bottom of the skirt, and it just looks like a totally new model again. So all these little tips and tricks I do to like get stuff done faster, like it's fun. But I just want to make sure that you guys don't do that with your own work too much unless you genuinely think it's fun. I just, like, I know time is money, whatever. I do it because it scratches like that problem solving itch. Like, I don't know, I just like, I really like roguelike games. Like, I'm really obsessed with Hades 2 right now. This all loops in, I promise. So it's fun for me to do things a little smarter each time. So if I'm making a set, I'm like, ooh, how much can I reuse these pieces? It feels like a puzzle. It's not like, oh, gotta hustle, gotta grind, gotta get 10 models done in a day. Please, I don't ever want to come across that way. That's never the goal. Just making cool stuff. If I thought this model would benefit from being sculpted from totally different from scratch with like a unique robe, I would have. But I don't think it would have benefited. I think these both look bitchin'. Yeah, so there's one, there's two, and then this is the beginning of the flamethrower nun. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I didn't know until now that I need a skeleton brush. It's so good. I don't know if I can find one. Free skeleton brush, ZBrush. I'm sure someone re-uploaded it somewhere. I think I found it. All right, I found one, and I'm 90% sure this is the exact brush they use to break down to make what I sent you. Bam, put a link to that right now. It is free. Huzzah. Just Lingual says, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. each day, cold plunge, and then go straight into the hustle. What is it with these weird optimized bros and cold plunges? Good Lord. Like, don't get me wrong, that has like deep roots and like different like cultural reasons, but I'm just saying, like, when it's, you know what I'm saying. I won't be worried about it. Okay. No time for fun, only grind set and mindset. Oh wow, you are still in engineering college, so that makes, not for long, but you're especially around some of these people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the main point of the day. All right. Here's our men. We're going to make him look like this man. It has occurred to me that I've actually never sculpted like an older Asian man before. It just can be tricky to get that brow and lid separate but together. That's gonna be the hardest part. But I'm gonna save that for later because ultimately it's a pretty minor detail compared to everything else. So yeah. I think that's it. Let's get cooking. Oh, one last thing. I did the terrain the same way I do my characters. So if I can't get my terrain blocked out within like 10 to 15 minutes, I am probably wasting my time. That number is different for everybody, and it's been different for me year over year. I've been doing this every day for like 8 years now, for hours a day. So it's taken me a long time to get here. And I feel like I picked up 3D modeling pretty well too. Definitely not like some prodigy by any means, but like compared to other things in my life, like violin especially. Oh God, I'm so untalented at violin. I know everything's difficult when you start, but if you guys ever picked up certain things and you're like, wow, this is going to be hard for me specifically. That's how violin and programming was for me. Abysmal. Awful. Anyway, there was points in there. Take what you want. Hopefully you learned something. 10 minutes. Let's go. All right. First thing we should do to make this look more like the lovely picture Just Lingual drew is clothing. Clothing would be good. I do have some pieces that are really close to this because I feel like I sculpt monks more than anything. I think the base mesh I have has boobs, but those are really easy to remove. So I like to have my base meshes bulkier than I need and slim them down. And it's the same way that if I'm going to sculpt something with either masculine or feminine traits, I like to do the feminine one, generally speaking, because I find it's easier to remove boobs than add them. I know it's like funny to say. Like, see that? Bam. So easy. As opposed to like thinking of a meaningful like teardrop-ish shape. I mean, I can do it really quickly now, but when I first started, it was kind of tricky for me. Anyway, be gone. Now I'm gonna hold Option down with my move brush to make this larger. There are going to be sleeves. I have started making the sleeves a separate piece from the shirt. Ooh, this is looking really, really feminine still. I'm gonna need to fix a lot of this. I see. Can I be cheap about this, or do I need to sculpt this? Whenever you're trying to fit something, get the ends in. What is this? What is that? Get the ends in place first, okay? So I'm not gonna like go to the middle of this belt and start stretching it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my transpose line at the top and the bottom, and then where is that its final point going to be? Get it there, and then use your move brush and pull forward. It's just so much easier. You get a lot less deformation. It's kind of like working with curly hair. The more you touch it, the worse it looks. If you don't have curly hair, that's probably meaningless to you. But if you do, you know what I'm talking about. I really don't like this shirt thing for this. I really think it's going to benefit me to do this from scratch. So why did I decide that, even though it looked kind of goodish? It's because this character doesn't have a whole lot going on, I guess is a way to put it. Like, he doesn't have a lot of like detailed doodads and stuff, okay? The secondary forms come from the folds on his robe. So if they look really mushy or overworked, it's really going to take away from the rest of the character. Having these strong folds right here and this, it's not called an obi. I don't know what this is called. The bow is an obi. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to make it look not great. So it's going to be worth doing it from scratch. I like to really talk through my process when I decide to do something from scratch instead of using my asset library, because sometimes it can be really hard to tell why I make that decision. So now that I've thought about this, I'm probably not going to use anything from my asset library. We're going to do a full from scratch model. Other than the body, there's only so many different ways to sculpt an elbow, guys. All right, he does have short sleeves, I'm realizing now. If I grab this brush, I can use it to mask and drop those sleeves really nicely. ZBrush in half. Excellent. I'm not gonna mess with these too much because we're gonna pose them, and then I'm gonna move all these sleeves, all two of these sleeves around again. All right, to do a skirt, you kind of just do a little funny waist belt, extract, clear that mask, ZBrush with half turned on. My only point here is just to reduce and clean up the poly count. I don't care about topology at all, really, because I do stuff for 3D printing. I only care about topology in the sense that it makes it a little easier for me to work with. But not always. Sometimes uglier is better. A great case of that is using Sculptress Pro, which is horrendous topology, but it's really fun to work with. All right, we have this belt. His thighs are really just too powerful for this model, so we're gonna smooth those away. Generally speaking, I have a saying with my students, which is the body always wins, so don't get in the habit of doing that, please. Unless you know you're not gonna shortchange it later. Right now I'm just fitting this loosely, and then using polish by features to kind of do some of that work for me. The silhouette's really important. So I'm looking at this, it's kind of like a soft tapered cone. Mine isn't tapered enough, so I'm gonna go in here and taper. Bam. If you can prevent yourself from going with your move brush and doing all these little lumpy movements, I really encourage you to avoid doing that. Great. I think this is another layer. I think. I really can't tell. Yeah, it is. I'm just gonna duplicate this, cut off the front, mask, do the same thing. I'm just hiding parts of topology and then hiding it. I just want to make sure I don't make it look like an apron. All right, again, what shape is it cutting? It's really, really important. Great. And last but not least, the actual belt part. And I'm looking at where it's gonna sit. So it's kind of, his belly button's probably here. So I can kind of reference that on my model. Excellent. Just ZBrushing to clean it up a little bit. If it takes you a long time to ZBrush by half, it means that your model is too high poly, or you just have the, just drop a subdivision level. Oh, he doesn't need shoes. I really like that. That's nice. I hate sculpting shoes. All right, that looks good. I do think his hands would be a little meatier. All right. So the shoulder seam is dropped. So right now I'm kind of moving into secondary details a little bit, not a ton. I'm just looking to where these seams fall and then making them match on my model. And I'm not gonna exactly copy this image, but kind of, because it's really good. All right, we have like a rope knot thing going on. How do I want to do that? An easy way to do it is using a curve brush. I kind of got this X thing going on that I like, just like that. Move topological. Let's do a little scoot. There we go. Excellent. And then we have a big knot. I'm going to sculpt that knot later, but for now I'm going to put this little placeholder blob. Dynamesh at a very low resolution. Was that too low? Oh goodness, it was too low. It was so low it made the circle look cube. Too low. The blobbiness I like though. That's about correct. And now we will add these little strappy things. Looks like there's some beads tied to it, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and go to stroke and lock start, so that way I can pull this around without it being weird on me. There we go. Almost looks like it's like a simulation thing, but it's not. It's just, I just have the start locked. Let's make this one also pretty long. Great, that's good enough. Use move topological, kind of tuck it in there. Mirror and weld. Ooh, I didn't like that. Split. There we go. And then this is the design. Again, because it's kind of simple, I don't have a bunch of details to hide behind. So I'm gonna need to add a lot of asymmetry and other goodness to get the same amount of appeal. He's got fabric on the sides of his butt. I don't know what those are. We're lacking volume though. Volume. What's all this fabric, just lingual? What is this? I ask because I don't look at the chat. It'd be so funny if you've been talking the whole time, like, yeah, but I can do whatever I want. Oh yeah, that looks way better. A little bit more fabric there. Just Lingual's a really talented artist. So is his wife. They posted some work in progress, or not work in progress, but like concept art for this world that they're building, and like my jaw just dropped. I was like, absolutely fantastic. It's very whimsy and cool. It's in Share Your Art right now in our Discord if you guys want to go take a look. Tuck that in, bring this out. I don't pay a whole lot. Oh, 10 minutes. There we go. I think this was a very successful lockout. Oh yeah, that looks way more like the character than it did 10 minutes ago. Huzzah! All right. What am I missing? Hello, Indelier. Do cold plunges do the same thing as 3D printer cold pulls? I mean, yes, I guess. Mentally. Absolutely. Just Lingual says, Mia, isn't a request. You don't have to, of course. But if you were to tie any tie inspiration in any way, I'd be very happy. Okay. I'd call that part of the belt a... Okay, if there is a line over a vowel, it's I, right? So, Saivara, right? But that's Thai monks. I was doing generic forms for doing the art, so it's not a specific belt. Sounds good. That would be cool. I would like to incorporate some Thai stuff. If you just do like a little like Thai culture dump and have a live stream, I might be able to pull some things from that. If you have time. Wendelier says, Mia, if you spend this much time posing the models, would that not make you a poser? Pose when? Oh my god. Oh, good lord. Beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, so I did a like old Chinese coin for my coin sword, and that was fun. So maybe I can tie in some like currency. If they have like coins or something, I can add some little like dingly bits in detail. Any emblems might be a little much. I really wouldn't print super well. What are some other things? I don't know anything about Thai culture. Oh my goodness. Really a huge flat spot there. Probably because like I don't, a lot of the only reason I know about any cultures is because if they have like mythology or creatures, I then read about it. But otherwise, not a lot. I don't know if Thai has a lot of like Thai mythology. I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before, but I'm sure it's a thing. Very cool. All right. For now, I'm just gonna continue detailing just the fabric, pretty like normal and boring, but eventually we'll add some culture spice. I'm gonna do another 10 minutes, and my goal with this is to affix the shirt. It's gonna be a bit of a dropped armpit business going on too. That's better. Just think about how the garment actually sits on the body. I went through a whole Marvelous Designer phase, and eventually it made my workflow way too fucking slow, so I stopped using it. But I did learn a lot, and it has improved my work. I say words like garment now. This is a bit of a higher neckline. Absolutely. And my favorite way to do folds on a shirt like this is to fake it. It is the way, genuinely. All right, so we're gonna do lock start again. And this time we're gonna change our picker from once Z to continuous Z. That just means it's going to follow the body. Make that a little wider. Come on, there you go. Generally speaking, I find if the curve brush did like a good job the first time, you really shouldn't do what I'm doing now and try to keep going. It gets very sensitive. So we're gonna just split mask points. We're gonna call that a win right there. And I'm probably going to add the curve brush to the outside of this. So I can go to stroke, curve functions, frame mesh. I can just click, bam. I got something to follow now. Split mask points, I only need the color. There we go. I know that looks silly, but it's following, it's doing a lot of the work for me here. So I'm gonna split this without symmetry. Just a lot of masking and deleting. Great. Now that I have this piece, I can mask this edge and I can fold it manually myself right here and just pull that down. That's about fitted where I'd want it to be. I'm gonna use Move Topological to help me grab just one side. And then I'm gonna try to like hide that seam as if it just connects perfectly. That's good enough. I can actually merge it down later. So there you go, that's how I do that. It's really not positioned quite right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. I'll deal with it later. Ooh, we're getting some Thai goodness in here. Can't think of a ton of Thai art references that aren't architecture. I mean, that's fine. Wow, this is insane. This is incredible. This temple is actually a newer temple that's an art installation. One of those handcraft arms is flipping people off, but that's just fun. Still, this is really cool. Wow. This is really cool. I'm gonna leave that up. Okay. I can work with this. I mean, the elephant tusk, that's what that is, right? Wow. How have I never even seen these before? Cool. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. Just Lingual says, most people don't know a crazy amount of Thai culture. I constantly get compared to Taiwan. I'm not going to embarrass. Ah, Taiwan versus Thailand. Ah. Yes, those are different. Now I'm just watching Discord. I'm like, what are you going to post next? Okay, I'll keep working. Elephants are very big in Thai culture. Well, it'd be cool to add like a elephant tusk to, I mean, pinning it to his belt is a pretty on the nose, but it's cool. Maybe I could carve a little like ivory trinket to add to the parasol too. That'd be cool. Meanwhile, elephants. Thank you, Aloha. Cool. I need to get the shape of the shirt looking shapey. So I'm going to mask the things I know I don't want to move. And now I'm gonna grab my move brush and my build up brush and try to deform this mesh. I'm gonna be pretty limited based on the poly count, but there should be plenty of polys for me to get this all shapey. So he's got like an undershirt, it almost looks like, and that double layer is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. That's why I kind of awkwardly split the difference, is what my eye was trying to do. No worry. So what we'll do is two things. One, I'm working this quite a lot and I don't want to get too lumpy. So I'm gonna do a crease and then polish by features to try to mitigate that. All your little tiny adjustments is the enemy. It just makes your model look lumpy. So if you're gonna mess with it and fiddle, really be careful. There we go. That double layer there looks really nice. And it's not about looking at a reference and following it exactly and thinking like, oh, I don't have this line. It's really not what I'm doing. It's really more like understanding like where is the appeal from this drawing coming from. But I tell you guys that Just Lingual, his wife, and I played pratfall and we streamed it in Discord. It was so freaking fun. I hope we do it again soon. It was great. I did a big social and it was absolutely wonderful. And I didn't even like crash and burn after hanging out for that long afterwards. It was great. I just like continued to have a normal night. Him and his wife are like really just not tiring people to be around, so that helps. I said that really weird. That was a compliment. Like, you guys are fun to be around. There we go. What a weird way to say that. Yeah, they don't suck. Yeah. You know, that's a family thing though. Like that's kind of my family talks a little bit. Last year, 2 years ago, Ricky went up to Cleveland with me to visit some family that he hadn't met yet. And like, I really adore my aunt and I really value her opinion. Shout out to my Aunt Michelle, she's great. Anyway, and I really want to make sure that they like him. And at the very, very end of the trip, she looked at Ricky, we're in the truck, we're driving away. And she's like, I'm so glad you don't suck. It was a beautiful moment. And I was like, that was really good. I think she also said, I'm so glad you don't suck, comma, because you've been around so long at this point, it'd probably be hard to get rid of you. But anyway, like, good stuff. Good stuff. My family loves Ricky, and I'm glad, because they really don't have a say in the matter. But I would be very sad. But it wouldn't change anything. How did I get here? How am I just talking about my husband again? It's fine. fabric fold stuff. It's getting a little lumpy because I just really want this to look cool. So I'm gonna just mess with it until it does cool stuff. It's working. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Mia, have you ever made an elephant folk? Yeah, one of my first models ever was an elephant folk. Yes, actually it was pretty popular. I had a couple in the very, very beginning. Yeah. Just Single says, I've used a few of her elephant folk minis in campaign, actually. Ah, cool. And the Optimistical is also enjoying Thai culture and Thai goldsmithing and architecture. Very cool. Just Single says, I am pretty yappy, though. In a good way. Group Thailand road trip win. Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun. Next ring. Just Single says, in a good relationship, I feel like it's common to be compelled to talk about your companion unprompted. This is true. This is true. Hello, Nifty. Welcome in. Buongiorno. I laugh because it's just, you guys get translated no matter what you say. So anytime you say something that's not English, it translates it, and I find it really annoying. I can't figure out how to turn it off. All right. So we have this pleating going on here. I normally just do pipe folds, but maybe I'll do pleats instead because it's a bit of a reach, but the tiered nature of a lot of these buildings reminds me of pleats. When Delia says, my geography isn't great, but I'm not sure we Americans can drive there. No, I don't think so. I was telling Ricky the other day where I was like, my geography is so bad and I'm afraid people will find out. One day I'm going to severely embarrass myself talking about the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and what's the other one? There's something else. But there's like three that I get routinely confused on. Brexit did not help, okay? And I never really learned it correctly anyway in the first place. Anyway, so yeah. I also don't think we can drive to Thailand. Pretty confident on that. Unless you have one of those like James Bond cars where you can drive on the ocean, but I don't think so. Let's do some work on his face. It's FaceTime. Don't bother learning the difference about the UK. It's all a shithole. Oh gosh. Just Lingual says, everyone seems to mention this when I say road trip. Oh yeah, I didn't think of it literal. Road trip is just going anywhere together. Road trip. Americans think we can drive anywhere. That is also true. That is also true. Oh, is Nifty solving my problem? I got this from Auto Translate. I don't know if it'll help. On Mac, go to Live Control Room. That's where I am. On the Stream Settings tab, that's where I am. Locate the Video Details box and click Edit Customization. Okay? There's no box that says customization. But now I believe that this is in my power to change, so I will complain about it less. No. No. Good try. Good try. I will look into it later. But now I know it's fixable, so I appreciate that. Ooh, these little swirls I can absolutely implement onto the design somewhere. Yes. Okay. Let's, oh, I never read the description of this model. Okay. So, Umbrella Spear Monk. Masters of both offense and defense. These monks have trained their entire life to master a single weapon, a spear with a parasol/umbrella-like brim. It acts as their weapon, shield, and crutch. They gather fruit with it, keep the rain south of their faces, and use it as they celebrate and dance. You can take or leave literally any part of this. It'd be fun to see what you come up with. It would be kind of insane if I removed the umbrella part though. I get you though. Very, very flexible. I appreciate that. We're gonna do some facial hair and eyebrows. This is one of the rare instances where I do not extract at 0 thickness. That's a little puffy. Let's do a little less. That's not enough. 0.001. Do I know numbers? Oh, I don't today. Oh, I understand what you're wrong. Stop. There we go. All right, so this kind of connects back here. All right, that is sufficient. Great. His nose is more shaped like this. I need a reference of a Thai man, please. His ears are way too small. Fun fact, the cartilage on your face, so your nose and your ears don't stop growing. That's why old people have big noses and big ears. Primarily, think like earlobes. All right, and we need some eyebrows. So again, where your head turns, like that plane that's now flat. So you have your forehead, which is here, and then you have the rest, like your temple, where it bends. At this point right here, that little gold point, that's where your eyebrow bends. That's where you place the arch. I just have so many students that keep sending me eyebrows like this, and I'm like, you've got to stop. I've told you how to do this. Here, aha, bend time, here. And you can do all kinds of variations of where you connect this point here. You can go up here, whatever, but it will follow this rule. There we go. Oh, super exciting news. Matt, the Forge of Many Things, Life is giving the life break, or I think he's kind of, some things the dust has settled, so he's me back. I'm actually going to be doing weekly meetings with him again starting next week, which I'm really excited about. He has a pretty successful art business himself, and it's always fun to have a variety of students, especially those who are already somewhat established. So I'm excited to be talking more business and whatnot. If that's something that you are interested in, I do all my payment through M3DM Academy on Patreon, but you'd have to be an existing student at this point. I really don't take on brand new business consults from strangers, mostly because the few people that I have done that with have been a colossal waste of my time. The amount of people that want to do a business consult and have not sculpted 10 models, I'm like, what product? Go make some art and then get back to me. All right. Ooh, just singles typing. We're getting a Thai man. I really like to exaggerate this water line right here. This eye shape is not correct for this ethnicity, and I know that. That's why I need a reference. I love faces that are different to what I see every day. It's more of a concavity here, which is really normal. So as you get older, you lose more of the fat on your face. That's why I'm finally starting to actually look older, because my face looks a lot longer because I'm losing my cheek fat. When it was out here, I had a perfectly circle head. It's true. Look at my old pictures. Not so much anymore. I don't really know how flat their noses are. I know it's more than what I have. I'll wait till I get a reference before I make any big decisions. More prominent jowls, stronger jawline, lower jawline, more earlobe. When I say more anything, I always think more cowbell. I didn't even think that SNL skit was that funny. It just lives there. in my head. All right, I'm pretty sure where a lot of the trickiness can come in is dealing with this eyelid and the way that it forms. Which I might get correct to varying success. I'm not gonna like really beat myself up over it, but I would like to at least try. Like this I know is gonna be more prominent. That's still a big improvement of what I had before, which was pretty expressionless, I would say. I'm gonna take away some more material here, show more of the skull, because old. And again, you lose more fat on your face, so just show more skull bone. One Thai thing, it might be other countries, but I really only know Thailand, is the idea of clean versus dirty parts of your body. So you flip people off by pointing your feet, because feet are unclean and the opposite of sacred. Oh, no kidding. Also, that's a great reference for a Thai man. He has more of a round head. I'm gonna go with a more of a tall head here, but I'm gonna take his nose. Can you guys see the reference? Yeah, so I'm looking at him. He looks so joyful. Everybody knows on this channel, I give everybody a Roman nose chronically. I like hooked noses, and I cannot lie. All right, and then so what looks like the eyelid is actually the brow tissue coming down over the corner of the eye. That's what gets me confused. All right, I'm gonna darken the eye. I'm gonna duplicate the face just in case I horrendously botch this. I can just go back. So since it's not gonna be visible. Hey, a bunch of Thai people. Here's my father and other relatives. So Thai. Okay. Okay, so more volume on the bulb of the nose, but the rest of it, pretty good. Your dad has really prominent brow bones. I'm gonna incorporate that on this model for fun. I already did that concavity here. It's very helpful that he's bald, actually, so I can like see the structure of the head. Partially Thai. Okay. I feel like I'm making him so serious. What about the mouth shape? My stepmom is Filipino, and we went to the Philippines to visit all of her family, and I'm seeing some similarities here between like Filipino facial features and Thai, which is kind of cool. Like rounder lower cheeks. People are cool. All kinds of different shapes and sizes. What about the inner corner of the eye? Yeah, see on your dad, it's really hard to see. Okay, we don't want to have nothing there. We're going to replace it with this. So this inner corner isn't really going to be there as much either. Let's go ahead and just make my life easy. The slash brush is going to do a lot of heavy lifting for me here. So I'm going to reconstruct it like that. So there's going to be a little bit visible on the inner corner of the eye, but nowhere else really. And then I'm going to zoom out and kind of see if I'm getting the rough strokes of this correct. That's much more correct than it was before, which was just pretty much European eyes with a slant, which is not. I did have a little bit of funniness here. That's a hard way to do this. Let's do that. There we go. Just need to clean up that part right there. For a second, I thought I didn't have symmetry turned on and my heart just dropped. I do. Also, more prominent here. Yes. And more volume here, but not a ton. That's better. It's better. I'm gonna use move and back face mask and see if I kind of pull things around and get even more of a shape that I like. I don't think so. That's better. Yeah, I was able to lower that eyebrow fold better while still keeping the structure of the upper eyelid. That was tricky. Okay, cool, cool. I think that's about as much improvement as I'm gonna make on that today. I kind of already brought forth that brow bone. All right, cool. God only made so many perfect heads. The rest he gave hair to. I think I'm pretty shapely. Speaking of, ever since I got stung by a bee on my head, this lymph node, you have two little lymph nodes right here. They're way smaller than I thought. Has been like big ever since. I have like a little marble in the back of my head. And it's been like a month, but it has gotten smaller. At first I was like, this is it. This is a tumor. This is how I die. And then I realized it was symmetrical. And I was like, what are the odds that I have a symmetrical malignant tumor? I'm like, 0. I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. I'm working on it. There. I'm really committing to that fold there, looking at this eyebrow shape, or not eyebrow, eye shape from the side. And I made some progress. Ooh, I really screwed up the nose though. Get in here. Well, that was fun. That was just kind of like a fun little rabbit hole for me to go down. One of the worst things you could ever say to me is just being like, looking at my models and be like, oh, same face syndrome. And it's true. I mean, I for a long time didn't even try. I was too busy about trying to figure out how to sculpt, you know, different kinds of fabric and stuff. But at this point in my art career, I would like to have different looking faces. So, yeah. That's better. Like this versus this, I'm pretty happy with. Actually looking different. Very good. What else are we posting about? I see there's more postings. I'm gonna go. Okay, I actually want to draw attention to this really quick. Otaka said, I thought I'd try drawing for this month event. Just started and I'm ready to give up. Why is drawing people so hard? Yeah, so I was posting almost every day about this little sketchbook quest that I did. And it was going good. I was drawing little goofy dudes. And then I tried to draw Nyx from Hades and it was really hard and it came out like okay. And then I didn't want to post it, so I didn't. But I did finish the sketchbook quest. I just stopped posting about it. So I really agree with how like demoralizing it can be to try to draw people. Like it's really tough because we know what people look like. We know it real good. We look at them all the time. So it's like drawing hands on steroids. And then you're trying to make them appealing. So if I could give any advice to you, it's to not try to draw something beautiful or cute. So I don't mean like old, ugly old man fart. You know what I mean? I just mean like something with richness and not smoothness. Because things that are cute tend to be perfectly smooth. Things that are pretty tend to be, you know, like Nyx, like things from Hades. So try to draw something that has imperfections already baked to the cake. Or what is perceived to be, because it just makes it so much easier. There's less rules. You can really try different things. There's more right answers, which I know this can be taken very out of context of like, oh, so there's only one right answer for beauty. And I'm like, it's not so much that. It's just kind of like our eyes much more trained, I guess. Like, it's much easier to draw a monster than it is a beautiful woman. Like, seriously, because it's so much more fragile. Here's a good example. If I myself were an eldritch monster being, and there's lots of tentacles and eyeballs, and if I have like tentacles like this versus this, it doesn't change very much, right? But if I look at you and I like move my face around, I've only moved things around a couple inches. You know what I mean? But it's odd and not symmetrical. So yeah, I hope that helps. This whole event is about cute stuff, not necessarily true. So I said bring on the cuties, which was probably very distracting and confusing, and I apologize for setting that tone because I put this guy in. Draw him. You can draw cute things that are asymmetrical and odd still, or like an eldritch horror being. Or another good one would be, oh, that's awesome. Odd little fae baby creatures too. I thought I shared it somewhere. Oh, I shared it in question of the day. Like, this is cute, and that wouldn't be that hard to draw. It's kind of horrifying, but it is cute. So that's what I'm trying to say. There still is a way to do this. Maybe don't draw a human child. That is so difficult. I watched a video yesterday. I think it was from PCat. It's a YouTuber that I'm not as familiar with. I've been watching more recently because her stuff's really awesome. She had a video that was talking about like how to not get burned out on art and drawing specifically. Sculpting, I got in the bag. I can be bad at sculpting all day. I don't care. But drawing, like, my hands get like physically tight. I get so weird about trying to make stuff look good. And it's really frustrating for me. I still haven't figured that out. So I'm excited to figure it out so I can tell you guys. But anyway, her answer was to not be so invested in the outcome, which is exactly what I say about sculpting. But I can't seem to apply that. It's kind of like when you're doing a run in a roguelike. I've been playing Hades so much, I can't stop talking about it. And it's so frustrating when you know there's a certain point of the run where like you know it's fucked. You know what I mean? But you just keep going. And one of the times I did that run, it was going up to, that's kind of spoilery. It was going up to an area, down to an area, and they're little familiars that you can get, but you don't really know when they're going to show up or whatever. And long story short, it was a run that was totally fucked. I knew I wasn't going to win the run, but I pushed through, and I'm so glad that I did because I found one of the little familiars, and I was able to get a little friend out of it. So it felt really worth it. So you can kind of think about art in your own way. Like, I don't think you can stop yourself from seeing a piece and be like, this is fucked. This isn't gonna look good. I already know, like, I did it. This isn't it. But instead of just rage quitting, maybe like, great, the pressure's off. Mess around with it. Try some new brushes. Try some weird shapes. Completely pivot off of what you were trying. Try some different textures, you know? Like, sometimes you can use it as permission to do something different with it. I can't do this with physical medium. This only works for me with digital art. I guess if you're a painter, you can just overpaint stuff, and that's fine. But like with a pencil, so my sketchbook, I only draw in pen. I do that because otherwise I will just erase chronically to the point where I've just like destroyed my paper. So I only let myself draw in pen. I go really, really lightly, and then I go heavier over the fact. Or like I'll sketch in pencil, but I don't have an eraser. Anyway, maybe you can try that. Maybe that would help. I really hear what you're saying. I know my answers aren't super refined yet because I am actively struggling with that as well. Why is drawing so difficult? Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's the lack of perspective for me because in 3D, I don't have to sculpt perspective. It's baked into the cake. In fact, I can turn it on and off. Pretty cool. But a lot of the art that I really enjoy has this like really crazy cool perspective, and I just want to draw pretty girls and pretty men, and it's so difficult. Hello, Jack. Welcome, welcome. No, I'll either succeed in my original idea or die. We'll find out. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, that was so dramatic and funny. I missed playing D&D this week. I thought I had forgotten, and then like felt panicked, being like, "Wow, I just didn't show up." And I was like, "Wait, no, there just was no D&D." But there's D&D this weekend, and I will be there. But in a couple weekends, I won't, because I tell you guys, I'm going out of town with my neighbor. We're going to a horse thing over weekend. It's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited. Not. Right now I'm kind of just in a detailing mode. Just closing holes, subdividing, throw some folds on there. So I don't have a timer right now, so I should be a little better at kind of checking out chat and seeing what y'all are up to. I will succeed in my first try, original idea, or die. Something about that really hit my funny bone. I know you were joking, but like, were you? I mean, obviously not about the dying. I hope not. But anyway, on that stiffness, you know? And I'm like, that's what it's about. It's about not being such a spaz about succeeding. I mean, can you guys imagine if we sat down to draw something beautiful and we were able to just do it? Everyone could just do it. Would we even value it as a skill anymore? I wonder, you know? I think it's because everyone's taken a pen to paper and tried to draw something, and that's where you get the, I'm so bad at art, I can only draw a stick figure kind of thing. Because everyone has that universal experience with it. Something that PCat said in her video, I think it's PCat, I hope Picket? PCat, oh, that can't be right. Anyway, was drawing with others and making it a social thing. So maybe I will just make it a thing that I hop into the Discord channel for like 10 minutes and just do a sketch and then get out. You know, I think maybe that would help me. I really want to be good at drawing, guys, and I'm just not. And I've gotten better, and I guess I haven't spent enough time celebrating that. And I think I'm a little bit of a brat about it too. I'm like, well, I'm better at sculpting, so like, therefore I should be able to draw without going through all of this suffering. To that, the art gods say, "Am I a joke to you? These are totally different." Oh, ew, what is this? Stop. ZBrush by same. Ooh, without infill, please. There we go. See, that's the only reason I care about topology when it does ugly stuff. Otherwise, it's fine. Very good. Subdivide, come on the underside, grab standard brush, and carve out some armholes. Bam, 30 printable armholes. I think what's the hardest part about me for drawing is like the actual like sketching and like laying down lines. Like I'm very accurate. Like I draw like a practically a perfect circle. I draw from my shoulder. I don't do chicken scratch, but like I'm just so concerned about it looking bad, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. I'm kind of spitballing right now. Otak, I know you didn't intend for me to completely derail on this, but I am still sculpting, so I can talk about whatever I want. I don't know, it's something I've just spent a lot of time thinking about, and I don't know. There's not many things I've put this much time into and not gotten, like, good. I will say when I posted some sketches last year, maybe 6 months ago, a lot of you guys were super sweet, and someone was like, "Whoa, you're like really good," and I like teared up. Like it like really got to me. I don't know why. I think I have like art dysmorphia with my 2D work. I don't know why. Oh, goodness gracious. We can get off this topic if you guys would like, but in the meantime, I am entertaining myself. I think I'm really overthinking it. It's my life. Osaka says, I was relatively good at drawing landscapes and stuff, and even faces were okay. But once I started trying to think about how to draw a whole body, I couldn't even imagine how. Well, a body has a lot going on, in your defense. I would recommend never starting with the head. That's one thing that whenever I draw a body starting with the head and I move down, it just gives like this like bobblehead effect, and it's all very stiff and weird. Hello says, Mia, can you sculpt with clay in real life for a fun Discord stream? I have never done that. I used Play-Doh once, like 6 years ago. Nice monk. Hey there. Hello, hello, Jack. Just Single says, I have a hand sketch version of the Owl Girl that is a little bad, so I redid it in digital. Okay. I'm going to try out gouache for the first time with the sketch/inked one. Very cool. Gouache, it sounds like fun, and it just sounds so artsy. Oh, I'm going to do it in gouache. You know, like... Nah, drawing is way harder than sculpting, right? You have a lot more subject to learn. In 3D, it's just form. I feel similar about that. I have 3 poses: the Superman, the Roman, and Steve. That's great. If you need nude models for drawing. Why is that so funny? And then Jack said, I've made a 3D sketch based on your Owl Girl for Just Lingual. Oh, how cool. Did you share it? I would like to see. Oh, how fun. That is a fun little sketch. Oh, I love it. It was so nice. I needed to at least try. Really nice design. That's fantastic. Small highlight on Jack. I just feel like, I don't know, you've become more prominent in the community lately. I don't know. It was like this morning that I was just kind of like, good peasant, good peasant. I'm really happy to have you part of the community. You really, really fit right in. How cool. That's so cool. Good job translating this torso twist to 3D. I find frequently in 2D drawings, it's not quite possible sometimes in 3D, but you translated it beautifully. Oh, there's a little speed sketch. Yeah, yeah. Also, I'll let that play. Does this have... No. I'll just leave it. Let's just keep detailing some of this fabric, and then I can kind of think about some other fun stuff. I already have a parasol. It's probably going to work very well for this, and I'm really glad because I've spent a lot of time on that parasol a long time ago, and I've never had a reason to use it, so yeah. Oh, paint! Hey! Is that from... That sure looks like a sword from Witcher, I think. Hey, this turned out so much better than your first time doing that sculpt with me. Seriously, good job. I kind of felt worried when I sent you the same assignment. I was like, hey, just watch the sculpt with me and my sword again. Because I'm like, I know you've already done it, but I had a feeling it'd come out better, and it did. Oh, no, I recognize this shape. You made this in that game. I know what this is from. Right? I feel like this is... Oh, maybe it's already a thing. I'm gonna Google it. But it looks like a sword that I have seen. Just, okay, German two-handed sword is what that means. What is that game called, though? I should know, because I literally played it. Taking a detour. Don't they? Oh, it's only showing Mac. I was gonna say, I'm like, the heck? Here it is, Blade Song. I bet you made that Blade Song. That torso twist was impossible with the initial sketch. It looks tough. It does. Yeah. Although it says you can also adjust the form a lot easier to get what you want in 3D, whereas in 2D you have to convey so much more detail in motion, such little lines. I agree. It is difficult. It is mucho difficult. That's whenever people ask me like, oh, do you need to be able to draw to 3D model? And I'm like, absolutely not. And my favorite answer, which is like, I mean, it helps, but you don't have to. And the reason why I say it with that tone, just because I'm like, I guess. I'm like, people that are asking that question are shy to start, you know? So I don't like telling them even that being able to draw would help. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just get in there. That's more of a communication comment than anything else, though. Nothing wrong with answering a question. You know what I genuinely think the hardest part about drawing is, and bear with me for a second because this is going to sound like a troll answer. Drawing, and I mean that. Just drawing every day is so fucking difficult. I just don't do it. And I'm so emotionally fragile about the results. Talking about this out loud really helps me. So thank you guys for listening, kind of thinking about it. For example, we're gonna relate this back to horses because I'm gonna be weird about it. So I have a horse. He's an ex-race horse. He's a thoroughbred. He has really shitty feet. Really common. Ironically, thoroughbreds notoriously have really, really weak hooves. We bred them to be fast, not to have good feet. Anyway, so one of the things I can do to help him is I have like this hoof hardener stuff I paint on his feet. Well, in winter, it's all muddy and gross. So I didn't do it for a long time. This isn't like medicine, to be clear. This is more like a bonus, like a supplement, okay? It might help, it might not. Anyway, well, I didn't do it for a long time. So when the farrier came, I told him that I didn't do it. I'm like, I haven't done this in a few months. And he kind of looked at me. He was like, that might have helped. And just continued. And it hurt my feelings. I knew it was going to hurt my feelings. And I'm like, good. I have said this, and now I will take care of it. So, like, sometimes by talking about things, just putting them out in the world, I can kind of feel how absurd it feels. Like me saying the hardest part about drawing is just drawing. And I'm like, being bad at things is half the fun of just being alive, you know? It'd be horrendously boring if we were all just good at things all the time. We just wouldn't. It wouldn't even make sense. Then it'd just be a new thing. Like if everyone had a photographic memory and could innately like render things, then it would be something else that we would value. Probably just originality and concept, I bet, would be the next thing that's really valued. I don't know. That looks nice. I'm very pleased with that. All right, I want fabric folds in this. I want to do pleats. I'm not sure how I want to. I haven't sculpted a pleat in a really long time. This is how I do fancy pipe folds. If I do them strong enough, they look like pleats. Can you stop undoing yourself? Thanks. But I don't know how I'm going to add thickness to this later. That's my only concern. Isn't that a nice fabric fold though? Isn't that pretty? Ah, that's so nice. What if I can just fake it though? Big fan of just faking it. If I was going to fake it, I would use the slash brush. Yeah. And what else would I do? Well, they'd all need to go in the same direction. So I would pick a point. I'd go a slight diagonal to kind of build in some rotation because movement is fun. And I press harder as I get to the bottom of it. I'm really going chunky with this, really insanely chunky. Because I don't mumble when I sculpt. I mean, it looks pretty good minus some other some weird areas like this, which I can probably mitigate by using the pinch brush. Yeah, sometimes when I don't know what I'm doing, I will narrate what I'm doing and pretend to be somebody who knows what they're doing. It's like a really dumb thought experiment, but I mean, it works. It tends to really work. That looks like plates without any of the work. Huzzah. Yeah. Aloha said it probably also doesn't help that you can load up ZBrush and make anything given some time, but drawing, you're back to square one. Probably makes it a lot more frustrating and less fun to play around. Yeah, that is kind of part of it. I'm like, I can just do this in ZBrush. And I'm like, so? Like, whatever. Something that's been helping me is really trying to visualize the kind of 2D artist that I want to be. That has helped. And the big thing for me is like line art and line weight. Because there's so many different answers, I guess is the way you can put that, or expressions. That looks so good and so pleat. Neat. All right. I'm cool with that. And then I can go back over that and fabric fold it. How in the world did I not use the slash brush for fabric folds for so long? I used it for like seams, you know, but not for like, you know, blocking out the actual plane change. Ah, that's great. I really like that. Cool, cool. Aloha says, why don't you just do a draw bad segment in Discord each week and every couple weeks? Get the peasants to come draw and color some random stuff together. That sounds good. This is like... So, fun fact about me is I am a competitive turd. So there is that. So I don't like not being the best, which I know I'm not, but there is that. So this would be a good trial by fire. This would be good. If you watched me, Just Lingual, and his wife play Pratfall, the first time we went down, a couple times, I was like a good little team player, trying my best. And then the fourth time, I was like, no, speedrun, bye. I mean, part of that chaotic energy was inspired by Kaylee, who's like super funny and fun. And I was like, oh, I want to try to be like silly. Like, that was fun. Like, I want to do dumb thing, like what she did. And so that was part of it. But another part of it was winning, which I did not. That's not how that game works at all. It is way harder than Peak. Really fun, though. Aloha, don't you have that game? You should play with us. It was very fun. Okay, I kind of lost my edge there. Can I cross over it? Resist the urge to make things a pattern. It's so difficult. That didn't turn out as good, but it's a much smaller part of the model, so I can let that go. See right there, like that kind of talking, I don't do with 2D. There's no letting anything go. I'm just like... I don't know what it's from, but my dad would quote some TV show when I was like a little girl. With some of my earliest memories is my dad saying, "Lighten up, Francis." And I have no idea what that's from. But I've just always been like that. I don't know why. It's just some things, I think it's charming that like the whole nature versus nurture thing. I think the answer is it's both, right? If you haven't heard that before, it's like, are you innately born a certain way or are you raised to be a certain way? And I don't know why it seems like when I've heard that argument presented, nature versus nurture, it's insanity to me because of course it's a blend of both. But anyway, I find the innate nature of people really charming and really silly because it tends to be not like good or evil, but just like competitive about stupid shit versus not. I didn't like sports. I didn't like compete in that way. I agree, Aloha, though. I think that could be really fun. And if people want to join in, great. But if they didn't, great. Totally fine with me. I know there's a not insignificant amount of people that lurk in our Discord and don't say anything. And I know they enjoy seeing what art people are sharing and their projects. And yeah, that's plenty for me. I am 100% confident that at least one person saw my little sketchbook quest and was like, maybe I'll draw a little bit today. Maybe only one person, but I know it inspired at least one person to go and try and create something, or at least maybe they organized their desk for mini painting or whatever. There's one thing that I've learned that's really surprised me is you affect people more than you think. There's someone I was talking to, someone really, really cool, like a really memorable, nice person, and they were talking about a mutual friend that we had brief overlap in our past without knowing about it, like 10-year difference. And they said the phrase, I don't know if they even remember me, but, and then continued. And I'm like, of course they remember you. Like, that's another thing too. Like, people probably remember you. So be nice. Something really cool with the slash brush is if you get really good at it, you can kind of like create these really confident looking fabric folds. I'm just starting to figure out how to do that. Very cool new fabric tutorial coming soon, I'm sure. And by tutorial, I just mean something that I talk about on stream, not a full-blown video or anything. Cool, kind of got some shapes being shapy. And now make them make sense with some smooth and the standard brush. If you want to level up your fabric folds instantly, make sure you're taking away material in addition to adding material. That's the single biggest mistake that I see. Is people just adding material. If you don't take away material, you don't have any like meaningful plane changes usually. This is looking so delicious and fabric foldy. Ooh, fun. Hello, Midori, welcome in. Oh, that's such a cute phrase. Just Lingual says, you can only be bad the first few dozen times, so best to enjoy it. I beg to differ. There's this stupid, I mean, I like the sentiment, but there's this stupid boss in Elden Ring in the first area because I've never left Limgrave. I mean, I did like this panic run and I ended up somewhere purple underground, but that doesn't count. I never defeated Margot. Got really, really close though. Not Margot. Margit. I can't remember his name. He sucks. He's stupid. Anyway, but I found this area with this the big cloak man on a horse, and I fought this stupid thing like 55 times. I'm not kidding, like dozens of times. And I'd get so close, and then I just panicked. I would try fighting without horseback, or on horseback, not on horseback. I tried starting half of the fight with it, without it. I would, different weapons, different... Stupid. It was stupid. It was so hard. The tree sentinel? No. It was like big shadow cloak man. I complained about it on Discord once a long time ago. Yeah. And someone in our Discord that's good at Elden Ring was like, oh yeah, that one's just stupid. And I was like, no. I know there's a right answer. I'm just bad at it. You were not meant to fight them. No, not that tree sentinel. Again, it's not a tree. It's a man on a horse. And he's just a big pile of black and shadow and misery. Stupid. Oh, I'm not sure when, but I am going to do that thing where I do a stream goal, donation goal for Night Rain. Probably just for the price of the game. Not because I can't afford it, but because I know I'm going to be ass at the game, and I just I don't know. If I'm gonna play with you guys and have fun, I will at least make it be free. That being said, I have Peak, as far as front slap games go, I have Peak and Pratfall as of right now. Those are fun. If you guys ever want to play this, let me know. I don't want to make it sound like you guys have to like pay me to hang out with you guys. I was worried that's what it was sounding like. I'm like, oh no. I just thought it'd be a fun thing for... Okay, so Foxy was playing Sekiro, or Sekiro, anyway, in our Discord chat, voice chat, and like he was doing okay. Or no, it wasn't Foxy, it was Otaka. Anyway, Foxy a long time ago played Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I was confusing. But anyway, Otaka was playing it, and like we all just like were so mean to him, and he was like okay-ish at it, and he was fine. I am so much worse. So I'm like, if you guys think this is bad, I cannot show you how I play these games. It's not quite as bad as like someone's never played video games before, where you can't get them to stop looking at the floor, which is like super annoying pet peeve. So it's not like that, but maybe you guys would be nicer to me. Knights Calvary or something, I think they're called. Yeah, that sounds right. Nifty says, I fought Ornstein and Smock, bosses in Dark Souls, for 7 hours straight before finally winning. I could cry afterwards. See, I feel like you crazy people that enjoy Souls-like games, you can do anything. Do you guys know that? Like, you can do anything because you play these stupid games. I want to be like you. I feel like there is a weird overlap between me getting good at drawing and Souls-like games. Like, I really do. Oh my gosh. See, Aloha says, if you're bad at Night Rain, it won't matter as much because I can help. And my first reaction is, I don't want your help. I don't know why I'm so competitive. I would need your help. Oh gosh, I just have like this little imp on my shoulder that's just obnoxious. Yeah, this POS. This one. I hate him. I was such a spaz. I can't remember what class I was. I had a katana, I think. I don't know. I do decently in Elden Ring if I play as astrologer, but I think we all agree that was like the cheese class. But I do quite good. I had like my big jellyfish friends and we did well together. But anything else, I'm just absolute trash. Absolute garbage. Mm-mm. I don't know if I want to do anything else to his face. This is looking pretty good. All right, let's get our parasol in here. Move his shoulders out of the way. Nah, body always wins. There we go. Oh, those aren't even touching the body. That's funny. Get over here. And before anyone asks, are those too thin to print? Yes. Yes. These are really, really thin. I don't care. They're there for vibes right now. I'll bulk them up later. Alright. Load in weapons. Where is Parasol? Here it is. Super itty bitty. I'll need to make some adjustments. That's about what I need for this character. Oh, please be separate pieces. Oh, God. I made this a long time ago, so I have weird construction. So particular shout out to Aloha and Jax. You guys can commiserate with me. I clicked on auto groups. These are my two poly groups. What the fuck? I can split it, like the handle now. What is this called? This part. Staff. I can just split it off, but that's horrendous. I mean, it's pretty. It just, okay. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, we're gonna split. You know, I bet you that comparatively I was just as bad at sculpting as I am at drawing, but I just have this weird perception that I didn't suffer as much. Why do I say suffer? It's not always about suffering. I mean it in like a Buddhist way, suffer. Like to live is to suffer, not like, oh God, that still sounds really grimdark. No, I mean like choosing, there are few greater joys than choosing your own struggle. That's what I mean. My knee-jerk reaction is to put myself like in this art boot camp. I've done it before and made some pretty good progress. This looks pretty cool. I am not going to have to make a brand new parasol for this. Parasol. 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 Yeah. Cool. I never played Night Rain because none of my friends play Souls-likes. Why did you pick Aloha? I feel like Aloha's your friend. It's true, Mia. There was genuine studies done in the UK on Dark Souls as games and how it helped people with depression overcome big tasks, and also help people overcome difficult tasks, like learning to draw. That's cool. I 100% believe that. Dark Souls games are still my favorite genre of game. This is probably... Paint, I think... yes, you are officially my most consistent student. Ever. Even if when I average out, like, breaks, if you get sick or your work goes crazy or whatever, you always come back to it though. So, huzzah! Congrats. Ah, Subnautica is such a good game. Did you see that the early preview of Subnautica 2 is coming to Game Pass and probably Steam, like in a week or something? Very excited. And Subnautica 2, not Subnautica Sub-Zero, which is good and was fine, but that's not 2. Oh yeah, Paint I play with you. Absolutely. You cannot complain about not having peasant friends in peasant land. Alright. I get you. You mean friends, like IRL friends. I get you. I like this mace that I modeled a long time ago. Man, I did that really clean. I have no memory of this, but it had to have been recent. I will take the top of this thing. So glad I put this at a slight angle. Actually, it was easier to line up than I expected. I do not feel consistent. But I also hold myself to unrealistic expectations. Don't we all? But yeah, no, you've been very consistent. You should be proud of yourself. I mean, I guess probably Aloha as well, but I don't see Aloha's work 90% of the time now, so I wouldn't know. Okay, where is this? Aloha does secret work only now. That's what it feels like. What am I doing? No. There. Wow, I really made that as complicated as possible. Hey, I want a little hat still. Ah, I see what I did wrong. The little, it looks like a Hershey's Kiss on top, and it doesn't look good. Alright, I like this, except for the fact that it's not pointy. But it'll be a fun initial bauble. I guess I could make it pointy. Yeah. I gotta make it chunky still, so it's not a nightmare to print. Because the last time I did a parasol, ugh, it was really tricky to print. That was way back when I did Japanese mythology. It's been a hot minute. Yeah, these little knobs look good. Except for this one, which is a different size than the rest of them, inexplicably. Hey, we did the thing. It's looking really good. Heck yeah. Now it's time for like trinkets and stuff. All right. Otaka says, I'd be down generally. I just have to figure out time zone and if ping is manageable. Yes, if the ping. Just Single says, I'm excited to be finishing school so I can more consistently work on projects. That's one reason I started pushing my courier campaign. Courier, oh, that makes sense. I do have all little letters. I skimmed through the text, but I skimmed through it really late, so I retained none of it. Mia's killing me at the lack of straightness in the umbrella. I mean, it's not gonna be like this on the model. It is going to be tilted. So I'm doing silhouette work, thank you. I'm gonna make it even worse now. Okay, where do? All right, so I had some patterns I wanted to add, some tie goodness. Elephants are a big thing. I have a war horn that's carved out of an elephant tusk that I just think would be neat to have tied to his belt. But I don't want it to look like a war horn. I want it to look like a cool little elephant tusk. I can never find this thing when I look for it. Donde? There it is. It's always like, it's like the biggest object on here. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'll need to texture it and change the shape a little bit, but not by much. There. I want it to look like the end of a elephant tusk. And I want the scale to make some inkling of sense, because if it just looks like a giant claw, you know, I don't want to do that. But I thought it'd be cool. I mean, you could always have it, you know, carved out of an ivory tusk to then just be a smaller tusk shape. I thought that could be really interesting though. Especially if I... something kind of like that. And then I can use auto groups, grab these nice little decorative ties, duplicate, and scoot it over here so it actually makes sense. And then it'd be really cool if I carved in some Thai shape language. I'm very excited that it happens to be something that I'm good at sculpting or drawing, which is swirls. More like concentric circles almost, but yeah. So yeah, my thought is just like this is like an ivory trinket. And let me zoom out too before I forget. And I am actually going to straighten the parasol because I'm going to put it off to the side. Oh, I've made this much too short. I will do the detail stuff in a moment. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. That's about correctish. I need this to be much wider. The brim. This. I will deal with that in a second. Not now. Over here. There we go. Very nice. Alright, and then you will go away for a moment. Alright. Oh, Duke is here. Hello, hello, welcome in. I like that. Even though these are for miniatures, you give each piece all the fine details and love and attention they deserve. Exactly. Because they deserve it. Also, now that I've started painting my own minis somewhat regularly, I'm even crazier about adding details because it shows up even more than I thought it would. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this more. All right, let's see if I can draw a circle. Let's do this and this. And it will look best if I have a clear line point. Something kind of like that. We're a little wobbly, not too bad. And then it kind of, nah, it's too wobbly. I can do a better job. That was better. Ooh, kind of wobbly there. That's okay. It would have been carved, so there might be some imperfections. That was nice. Oh, this is really pretty. The fall off on the edge is making my life a little difficult. I have perspective turned off to somewhat mitigate that. Mitigate has been my new favorite word. I find myself saying it in casual conversation really more than it deserves. I should mitigate my use of that word. It's also one of those words, I haven't looked up the definition of it, I don't know, recently. So I'm like, do I really know what that word means? I've talked about this before on stream before, but I like words. This usually summons Just Lingual to talk about words and language, but I don't mean it so much of like crunchy definitions, but just like, what does animal really mean? Does it mean mammal? Does it mean just not human? Does it mean like that kind of stuff? Like, obviously I know what animals are. Or do I? The way that I'm kind of looping these together almost reminds me more of like Japanese detailing, but it wouldn't be like this. I just saw these circles and I was like, I think that's really cool. And if I had like a carved, yeah, that's cool. Carved piece of ivory, how cool would that be? I'm looking at the bangles on this thing and maybe, oh, they're like little flowers. How can I get the feeling of that without all of that detail work. Because that actually wouldn't show up. What if I kind of did like a scribbly pattern? No. Oops. It's kind of reminds me of a mandala. Yeah, something more like that. Just something that's going to get the feeling of this. I just think that's really cool. All right, that's one thing. And it's a bit of a stretch at that. I wonder what other, like, tie pieces of detail I can figure out. The pose on this model is just not going to be very hard, so I really don't mind putting a lot of time in. Also, I'm just having fun. Just like what was very clear, that's like, you don't have to do this. And I was like, that's my favorite thing to do. You know, kind of act like a little kid. Let's say you're about to make your bed, and then your dad comes in, he's like, make your bed. And you're just like, no, I don't want to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the opposite when someone's like, hey, you could do this, but you don't have to. I'm like, okay, well now I want to. I just like this little trinket that I've made. I love, oh god, the two wolves meme is never not funny. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, we're talking about animals specifically. I define animals scientifically to avoid the philosophical or linguistic approach. Well, there you go. I do, big fan of falling back on just the scientific definition. That's why people talk about like the chemicals in our food. It drives me crazy because I understand not like the preservatives issue and like some things that have been said to be okay can not be, that kind of stuff. Like, look into Roundup. Oh my god. And Roundup seeds and what that whole thing is. Like we've regularly said that things are fine when they're not. So I understand the skepticism, I do. But then just being like, oh, all the chemicals and the compounds in my food. I'm like, water is a chemical. But I understand their point, so I'm just being pedantic. Anyway. Aloha says, it's why I get paid the big bucks. Oh yes, absolutely. If you want a bald Asian man sculpted, then check out Patreon. Yes, I have over 1,000 models there, and it has never been a better time. Even if you don't have a 3D printer. If you just like what I do, it directly supports what I'm doing here. The cheapest tier is $3. You could buy me half of an overpriced Starbucks coffee. Ricky and I went through a Starbucks drive-thru like 3 years ago, and I'm not kidding. We drove in this drive-thru, looked at the menu, and we're like, no, she's like, how can I help you? And Ricky's like, no thanks. And we never went back. Did you see that the CEO of Starbucks has described their they have a $9 coffee now? Because it's an experience. I'm like, Sir. Oh, I won't get political. Also, if you ever know what my political standing is, I love people. I just want people to be taken care of. That's it. It's really not very spicy at all. Did you know that the parasol has exactly 14 lines on top of it to reference Mia's love of the number 14? I completely made this up. I was gonna say, I'm like, does it? That'd be pretty cool if I did that on accident. Yes, I did. Just Single says, Mia, so you're saying the secret to commissioning you is to tell you not to do the commissioned work. Low key, yeah. Sean's, so it's Shan's, isn't it? It's not Sean's. I say Sean's because I avoid the sound because a long time ago, I remember someone talking about what it's like to listen to English speakers and they said it's just like, And I was like, oh no, it's horrible. So I really avoid it. Anyway, Shan's, they asked me like, hey, like, can I commission you? And I'm like, I mean, you kind of already are with the priority tickets and the request. My commissions start at like $250. It's $300. Why did I round down? I start at $300 unless it's really simple. And I don't do commissions. They're not open. If you want to give me $300 sculpt something, you can. I hate revisions, y'all. I hate sending someone a finished piece and they're like, what if I did this? My whole being disintegrates because a lot of the times it's an objectively stupid suggestion. I have no problem saying this anymore because I don't take commissions. I'm a bad commissioner, commissionee, artist to be commissioned. Anyway, which is funny because on stream you guys give suggestions all the time and like I roll with it and it's fun because it's thoughtful and eventually I can still put my foot down at the end of the day and just make what I want. And it just feels very weird to not be able to do that. Could you imagine hiring a professional chef to make you a meal and then being like, yeah, but no matter what you make, I want a teaspoon of salt in it. You know how much a teaspoon of salt is? Unless you're salting pasta water, like, you're gonna ruin it. That. Oh my gosh. Really? Interesting. Paint said, started new meds make me less hungry. It's weird. I've never not been hungry in my life. I am sorry you had to live with that your whole life. That sounds miserable. I think sometimes skinny people get too much credit. I have always been this size. I've been 125 pounds, give or take, like my entire life. I'm just like, wow, you must eat so well or be so careful. I'm like, no, I'm just not hungry, like ever. I have a horrible appetite. And then I get voraciously hungry at like 10 at night. Anyway, I'm really glad that that's working well for you. That's fantastic. Enjoy. It'll probably make you sleep better too, honestly. Food and gut health is like such an interesting, cool thing too. That's a whole other rabbit hole. What other Thai things can I add that aren't just elephants? I could have done more references to Thai architecture on the construction of the parasol, but I didn't make it from scratch today. I mean, we did pretty good here. I didn't make his face look like a Chad, so I think that's a success. I didn't give you a white man. Gosh, that would be sad. What does this pattern look like? Ooh, I kind of like that pattern here. I think that's really cool. Ooh. Ah. I love adding details like that because they print and they paint. It's very nice. Okay. Let's simplify our subtools a bit here. How long has it been? 2 hours. Wow, this has been the longest, shortest 2 hours of my life. I was worried it'd been like 4 hours and I've just been talking the entire time. Which is also true. But I was worried that I didn't also get stuff done. It'd be kind of weird if I didn't talk during my stream. Though I know I could definitely talk less. Sometimes it's easier to just yap consistently the whole time than to try to like restart and find ending points of talking. I can put myself on autopilot this way. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, Paint said, I only recently realized that you're not meant to always be hungry or not have the feeling of being full. That would be enough to drive someone insane. Like, not having that feeling of like satiation and fullness is like huge, just like just, you know, contentment as well. Your life's about to get a lot better. Huzzah. Why talk less when can talk more, right? More. Ooh, on sale for my wishlist on Steam. Trash Goblin. I played the demo for it. It was quite fun. I didn't buy the game though because I thought it was really repetitive, and then I realized that the demo is limited to certain things, and I'm like, am I dumb? I'm always surprised how many games I play the demo for, and then like I buy the game, and it's so much better because this demo is like outdated by years, and like I understand that everything takes time and effort and money, and the demo wouldn't just redo itself, but like, man, unfair to themselves sometimes. Does anybody know why the demos can't just be like 3 hours of gameplay as opposed to like they have to have like a specific demo game? It's always super outdated. You know, like I don't understand that. I feel like that's just more Effort. Yes. Just Single says, so if talking helps to turn off the brain, then it can improve your art because you are doing instead of thinking while still applying effort. Which is exactly why I should do my like 2D art practice in Discord in a social environment. Absolutely. Because even if I'm listening to people talk, I am like a very intent listener. If I ever meet any of you guys in person, one of the first things you'll notice about me is my like eye contact. I blink. I make sure to think like it's been a bit, kind of look away and look back kind of stuff. But like, yeah, most people think I have a military upbringing because I'm just kind of, well, if you've seen my dad, you would also think military. He looks like he's been doing his own haircut since he was like 18. Anyway, I digress. Aloha says the demo often acts as a way to advertise your game and gauge support of it early on before committing to the full project. I get that, but like now, like it's just like a demo to whether or not you decide to buy the game, and it's an outdated alpha essentially. That's why the demo is really outdated and from the early pipeline. I get you, but why couldn't they just do like a 3-hour timer on the new one? I hear you. Unless you answered my question. I can't connect the dots. I always feel bad when Ricky, like I ask Ricky a question and he answers it and I'm like, I hear you, but like ask the exact same question. And he's like, if you understood what I said, it would have answered your question. And I'm like, say it again, but different. All right. Oh, I also want to mention, directly just lingual here, I really appreciate that you post like your time lapses of your sketch process because I'm currently in that like obsessive line art phase of like trying to lay down a nice sketch that I think is appealing, and it really helps me to see someone else do it. So thank you. Because a lot of the artists that I admire are like, they're like just freaks at this point. So they can just draw like a printer, you know, like nonsense. And I'm like, this is not followable. I can actually see stuff that makes sense in your drawing workflow. So thank you. Def name? I need a new def name because the def name given me is really similar to Trump's not mentioning politics. I'm not familiar. Haircuts? The new def name. What? I'm interested. Otaka says, God, I hate that. For a long time, I always got interrupted when talking long, and now I get uncomfortable when people look at me when I talk longer. Oh no. Oh goodness. I just make sure to give like a really awkward pause between like responding to someone. It almost feels like I'm a robot booting up. Like you talk a lot and I kind of wait, we're done talking. And then I start talking. Like I don't know. I have to do that because I talk a lot. Oh, that's interesting. Mia, it maybe sounds stupid, but why don't you treat yourself as if you were your own student when it comes to 2D art? I get you. My deaf name is a reference to my aggressive hair. What is a deaf name? What? Like a sign language name? Or like I know, like our foreign exchange students when I was in college had like English names. What? It was out of left field, ignore me. But I don't even, like, it's a phrase that you seem to know means something. Fire my hands up there. Okay, ignored. Per your request. Yeah. Yeah, to what? I said so much nonsense. You got it. Oh, like ASL, sign name. Gotcha. I'm just reading Otaka's comment again. Just like for a long time, I always got interrupted when talking long. Man. Yeah. I used to let people talk over me, you know, and then it's really uncomfortable, and I've just learned to, I'm just going to finish my statement. I just keep going. And the double lineup of voices, I don't like it, but I'm like, I'm just going to keep going. And if someone's really bad, I'll go, no, and I'll keep going. It usually only takes like once or twice. I do make sure to do like a self-check where I'm like, am I dominating the conversation? Maybe I need to kind of, you know, chill for a second here. But even if you are dominating the conversation, people shouldn't talk over you. I'm ultra sensitive to that. You guys have probably noticed that. If you hang, those that have hung out with me in voice chat, we have some people that have their mics low or high, or I'm not sure what it is, but we have a couple people that consistently talk over others on accident, and I am like on it. Probably a little too much on it, but it just, I dislike. I'm also that kind of person that I just see nothing wrong with silence, which is ironic considering how much I talk on my streams. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember like in high school, I was in high school like 2010, 2015. And that was like in that little era, the phrase like awkward silence was just like super common. Like if there was a second without talking, there was someone be like awkward silence. And it drove me crazy. Silence is golden. Oh man. All right, let's do a pose. So we're gonna do our pose prep. Merge down some facial hair. I kind of had fun just blabbering, and I'm still going to. But now I'm going to be productive as well. So we're getting ready for posing here. And it's nice because this character, it really took my time assembling everything, so it's gonna be really easy for me to pose. I think I'm just gonna do a slightly more in motion pose than what Just Lingual has in his sketch here. So pretty much the same thing, but just like rocking onto one foot slightly more. I don't know what this is, I call this a skirt butt. This is not a tabard, but that's what I'm gonna call it, because I don't know what else to call it. What's this? Trim. Shirt. Alright. Our naming conventions kind of fell apart as we got further down the list here. But overall, not bad. Pretty good, all considering. Now I'm going to roll through this and see how our poly counts are doing, because I don't like anything being too insane. I'm going to check these on all low. The highest poly count was only like 50,000 points, which is great. If you have a really high poly count or like poor subdivision management, when you go to pose, it's going to make your life kind of difficult. Let's go ahead and back this up. I always save the unposed versions of my characters, just in case I want to go back one day and change them. This never has happened. I just think it might one day, so yeah. I also imagine it's probably a good thing to have backups of my ZPRs. Where is my stuff? There it is. Nice. Otaka says, I'm super not comfortable talking over people other than really close friends, so I'm usually pretty quiet in conversation. Yeah, because you have to be like a force of nature sometimes, and at least in the social rings that you and I have overlapped in, there are very strong personalities, both in our Discord server and D&D group. Goodness. It is pure Darwinism out there. It's like adapt or die or don't talk. That That is true, although it also is pretty quiet, which does surprise me. $300 million poly count should be okay. I should probably have the parasol. Yes. All right, posing. I just grab Transpose Master and you mask things and move them around. That is Transpose Master. Oh, this is an interesting issue, trying to make this. I'm gonna make this umbrella sphere really big. I'm kind of realizing now in the drawing it is quite big. Okay. I like to grab the arms and legs and polygroup them. There we go. So now you can see that I have a right arm and a left arm. And this is the beauty of Transpose Master, is it takes all your subtools and puts them into one. So you can really adjust everything together. It's a lot of clicking. That's one thing that I think doesn't get talked about in tutorials enough. I am doing so much clicking to make this work. Also, wherever you're rotating, you want to make sure that you are grabbing that rotation point. So you don't rotate here. This doesn't make any sense. This is not helping anybody. But if you rotate here, like where your spine is, it makes a little bit more sense. Obviously, if you keep going all the way around, it also looks stupid. But my point is, if you try to like pose the hips here, you're going to have a hard time. Gosh, he looks like a yokai, doesn't he? This is like straight demon stuff. Be kind of a cool alternate character, but we're not doing that. I mean, Just Lingual did say I could change it in any way I wanted. Have you ever tried the hidden gem of using anchor brushes for posing? I don't think I have those. I think I am too old of a ZBrush version for that. I am 2022.0.8. Ooh, that would be cool. Yeah, paint. That's kind of what I was thinking, more or less. Alternate yokai variant, the parasol, is the demon, and it's like a parasite that puppets the Asian man's body around. Horrifying. Horrifying. Very good. Although I was gonna get their scary, grimdark ideas out because I hurt their feelings by not sharing my grimdark work earlier this week. Hey, on one of those days, we had like no internet, or I didn't, specifically just me, for no good reason, so. On every other day, oh yeah, no, I could have streamed. I just didn't. All right, where is that elbow? What's going on? A yokai pack would be really fun. I've done so much reading about different like mythologies and deep dive just because of Aloha's questions of the day. Yeah, Aloha, I usually see your question of the day almost as soon as you post it. And then I just kind of throughout the day periodically do some reading until I feel like I have an answer that I like. And if I don't answer, it's because I didn't find an answer that I approved of. Okay, we're just gonna replace his hand with a fist. I don't know why I'm bothering posing this at all. I don't have to do this. I also did not put this arm in the right location at all. Come here. Over here. And again, the reference is more like this, but I'm unsure. I kind of want to... I'm going to change it. That's what I'm trying to say. I have an idea. I just have to do the idea. How big is this parasol gonna get by the time I'm done with it? I don't know. I rotated this belt around a little too much, and now it looks like he's broken. There we go. We're getting there. Ooh, I didn't grab his facial hair. So that was never going to work. There we go. I should save. This is a good time. Although, why did you post a sad sound emoji? Is that what that is? It's like a... It's kind of cute. Kind of just giving a bit more of an aggressive pose. A little bit more squared off. It's still pretty stiff, but that's just how poses work. They do not look done until they are done, and that is it. So people were like, "Oh man, this doesn't look very good." It's like, "Yep." No, I feel like my shoulder be raised on the arm that I did this wrong. Super minor wrong though. This would be down, this would be tilted the other way. I thought the hips were doing something weird. What direction would this go? Oosh. I mean, it could go either. All right, we have enough pieces for me to do another pass. So let's jump back, adjustments, one more pass. I do like the parasol being weirdly gigantic. I think it's really cool. I don't think it looks weirdly big in his sketch, but for some reason in mine, I think it looks huge. Alrighty, let's get some hands. Not monster hands. Alright, we're going to cut off his current hands. No need for these. Be gone. Be gone. Very good. No hands. Remember, thumbs point to the inside. I've seen many a backward hand in my students' work. It kind of looks weird having that fist without anything in his hand. I don't know if I'm going to want to keep that. I will decide on that later, though. This sure looks a heck of a lot better, though. Huzzah. Now that we have the beauty of this sleeve, I can kind of ignore whatever travesty is happening to the anatomy of the arm underneath. And I'm just going to focus on how the sleeve would drape. Because why do the same work twice? Make the fingers more relaxed in the offhand, question mark. What? No. We might not. Can I get this? I think I'm gonna put something in that hand. I just don't know what. I have to uncut his hand off. Many times when I'm doing poses like this and like one of the hands is not doing a whole lot, like this arm's kind of just like off to the side, I'll spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to do with that hand, and then I realize like it's so not the focal point of the model. Like, obviously give it attention, give it a look, right? But it should be the last thing you try to repair or fix or give attention and love to, if that makes sense. You guys get stuck on that forever. It was relaxed before, though. That's why I was like, no. Because I'm like, that's just going back to where we were. I can't tell you guys how many times in my early work where I would, like, sculpt something one way and then be like, oh, I should do it different. And so I'd sculpt it the other way. And like, oh, that looks weird. And then I'd sculpt it back to how it was originally. Like, I would do it like a few times. Beads, or maybe a necklace. That's not a bad idea. Update for my drawing. My human child now looks more like an old woman. Huzzah! Could we make a butt flap at the back? Nifty, I literally never know what you're going to say. You are one of my anomaly peasants where I'm just never quite sure. Sometimes it's like really on topic or you're solving problems, and other times it is just garbage. That was a good one. So you want not indent, just like a flap? No. I mean, I guess he kind of, there, this is your flap. He was here all along. I'm sure I can look up something that a Thai monk would hold. So like rosary beads, you know? Not for him, but like the equivalent of. Flap. Nice. Okay. I'm looking up Thai monk because this is a thing. All right, they are practitioners, good lord, of Buddhism, specifically Theravada Buddhism? I don't know the difference. All right, I'm on buddha.net. Totally serious. buddhanet.net. Okay. We're gonna learn something together. I'm trying to see like what they're wearing, anything that I can grab. See, they're monks, so they're not very materialistic. Crazy, huh? It's making my life difficult. You must surely have something that looks... that is an object. Wow, no, they're really just in robes. I will find something. Hello, monkey, welcome in. Added refs for Buddha heads. I feel like him grabbing a head would be a little dark. Oh, like these? Oh. Like this? Okay, it looks like a monk holding this. Okay. Didn't they have something to do with a lotus flower? I don't think so. I'm sure that has a symbol though. The lotus flower in Buddhism symbolizes... Nope, I'm not gonna read that summary because I don't trust it. Where is it from? Okay, that is from there. Symbolizes purity, spiritual awakening, and enlightenment. It'd be kind of cool if he had his hand outstretched and in this other hand he is holding a lotus flower. I mean, I would love that. That's my favorite flower. He looks a little menacing to be holding a flower. That could be really cool though. I think this hand could look really good. It's the only part of this model that I would like to improve now because I've done pretty much everything else that I can. That would make a large difference, I think. Even just having it a little relaxed might look good, and then it's kind of optional if I decide to put something in that hand. Yeah, even that doesn't look bad. Crushing the flower. He means trouble. That is funny. I knew this looked weird, and it's because I made it a long sleeve on one side and a short sleeve on the other. That will do it. That would make it look weird. Two totally different sleeves. Aha. That makes more sense. This is cool. This came out really cool. I love the ivory trinket. You could also have him holding some kind of scroll and one of those cylinder thingies. I get you, and they kind of look like this almost. That brings up a cool topic. What is everyone's favorite flower? Lotus flower. I like some of that swamp. Now, I like lotus flowers before I even had any idea of where they were grown and stuff. I just like the color and shape. Last time we went to the zoo, they have a little area for all the frogs and toads and stuff and turtles, and the lotus flowers were in bloom. I was really happy. I have no idea if they just kind of bloom all year or not. I don't really know a lot about them. I just like them. I don't mind this being empty. Otaka mentions, yeah, lavender, because we've asked this question before. I actually remember a lot of people's favorite flowers. Lavender does get rid of mosquitoes if you plant a like fuckload of it, but you need to have a lot of lavender. A fun fact, it's raining all day today in East Tennessee, and when I came back from feeding Spartan, I was walked in the bathroom to brush my hair out and stuff, and I saw in the mirror, I had this little thing on my chest, I looked down and it was a bee on my chest. And instead of freaking out and killing it, I just waited and I just stared at it for a little bit, kind of in panic. And I saw it was doing that little thing where it like kind of like its little body squishes around. It's trying to warm up because it's cold and rainy outside. So I grabbed some toilet paper and I walked outside and I very nervously just kind of started to like scoot it off of me, and it would not get off of me. Eventually it did, and then I just set it on the porch. But I was very afraid because it was so close to me and I have no idea how it got there without me noticing. But it did not sting me, so my fear of bees has gone down by about 40%. Yay. Aloha says, Mia, not for this model, but just curious. You see his lower half with the pleats. Would you be able to take something like that and swirl it, twist it to get some cool swirls? I think so. Might as well just try it. We won't obviously keep it, for this model, but it's fun just to see what it looks like. Yes. This would work really well for like tree vines and stuff and just like mythical goodness. You know, it's funny, a little twist does make this model look better. So thanks for asking, because you improved the silhouette a little bit here. Yeah. I think it's a little less pleaty though. Yeah, and never mind. It kind of... There we go. Let's do the same thing here. Nice. All right, time to get a fun render. This is true. Otaka says, fun fact, if you want a bee experience with the least amount of sting probability, do it on cold weather days. All they want to do is warm themselves in their skin and they won't sting. Literally what happened to me today, so that does make sense. He was definitely not going to sting me. I was still very, I have no idea if you could tell on the bee. But anyway, it was very, it was a good experience. 10 out of 10. Good bee. Ah, that's dramatic. Ooh, what a good payoff. Awesome. Okay, screenshot time. All right, smile. Oh, I really like this. Love it. Now that's like done, you know, I really like this model. Wow. Very good. Very good. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, like always. Also, kind of an exciting news. Patreon's been doing really good. Business has been good. It's pretty unusual, for us not to do Kickstarters, because Kickstarters bring in a couple of grand consistently. So for the effort and for the payoff, they're really worth it. But we've just been doubling down on just our smaller projects here and making really just like Discord as fun as possible, which really just turned into a social thing. And then my models better, and then the Patreon experience as good as possible, and the website. So just haven't been doing Kickstarter. But if you told me that we weren't gonna do that a few years ago, I'd be very nervous, because that's like, it was a huge chunk of our income. But no, we're able to just sustain and be comfortable on less, which is cool. One of the biggest things that I've heard about like business advice in general is to diversify. That is rich people advice, I would like to say. No, if you're like a small creator or a small artist, the worst advice you can give someone is diversify. Like that's for like stock portfolios or something. When you're already rich, focus on something. Don't have a million little side businesses unless it's a hobby. That's fine. But just want to give some advice that goes against what I've heard a lot of there. I still plan to keep doing Kickstarters and stuff, but now we're not sacrificing Patreon time to make sure it happens. We're just focused. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been very good. How do bees greet each other in Japan? They say, wasabi. Wasabi. Oh, cute. All right, we have a work in progress from Otaka. Well, that's a work in progress for now. Could be worse, could be better. Any good drawing people got advice? Bring it on. I like that you're blocking in shadows at this stage and trying to figure out where those plane changes are and stuff. Try to draw more from your shoulder. I can tell by your strokes that you're kind of doing like these like unsure, stretchy lines. Instead, think of like doing like big, loose gestures. And that might be a little easier. The small lines are fine for when you're refining stuff, but try to just do like, I limit myself to just straight lines and slight C curves, and that's it. And I'll try to draw an entire piece like that. But looks recognizable like a human being. Good job. I love that the hands are just blank. That's great. I find even little claw hands, any attempt is better than nothing. Nifty says, would you say you work stress-free? That stress related to what? My work does not cause me any stress. I have a problem finding habit, which I've really kind of knocked off this year. I identified it recently, where if I'm sitting perfectly content in a room, I'll think of things that I can do to prevent future problems. It can be anything from like, oh, well, I might as well do laundry to prevent that from becoming an issue, or I might as well do this. Let's put it this way, like, I am really good at preventing problems because I'm always looking for problems. So I prevent bad things from happening. But it's just a spaz thing. It's just weird residual of me being a little kid and trying to keep everyone happy. So I do this weird stress-seeking habit. But yeah, my work causes me no stress. I look for it though, but not as much anymore. So now, yeah, no, I operate pretty zen. Because you were talking about the money side of it. Yeah, no, money has been fantastic. I am very dry and pragmatic when it comes to money. I know how much my bills are, and I see how much, and I count other stuff as bills. Like savings, I count as a bill. So I calculate that number. And then if I make more than that, what more could I ask for? You know? More is more, sure, but I think I'm so lucky to be able to take care of myself and my animals, and Ricky and I were able to buy zoo passes again this year, and we can afford to put diesel in our truck and go wherever we want and buy food that we want. You know, yeah, it's been great. I feel very, very, very fortunate. Do you have to chase work, or can you do it in a relaxed state? I don't chase work at all. It's just Patreon. Patreon pays for just about everything that I do. I don't take commissions. I don't have to seek new clients. Yeah, wow, that is awesome. Yeah, it's been really good. Absolutely, it's in a relaxed state. I really appreciate you elaborating on your question. You pretty much just rephrased it, but it does help me to feel like I know I'm answering the question that you're asking. Cool. Good to hear that. It's wonderful. And I think, artists that have to create from a stressed state of mind, I feel like you can see it, you know? When you see me spend an hour just talking on stream and producing very little, you know I'm doing pretty good, generally speaking. The actual time spent sculpting this model was probably around 35 to 45 minutes. We just hanging out. an ice cube keeps jamming itself on like the vent hole here. So no water's coming out. Please stop. There we go. Speaking of vent and stuff, vent holes or whatever, if you are draining a 3D print, so you took a 3D print and you hollowed it and it's full of resin, you need to poke 2 holes in it to drain the resin out. Trust me. You don't need to understand why. Pretty much, if air can't get in, liquid won't come out. It will just stay like a bubble. So, yes. Yes, if you want to give Mia more money to launder, check out this website. I would appreciate that a lot. Oh, man. But seriously, I just really appreciate you guys. And it sounds, you know, cliche to say, but because it's true, like, your guys' support is why I can do this. And all of it matters. It does. Even if you're like a $3 patron versus 15, it's like 15's more money. I'm like, yeah, but having more patrons makes me look more credible. It does. Like, it was very difficult to get the first 100 patrons, but past that, people were like, oh, well, over 100 people supported her, so she must not suck. It's silly, but it's true, you know? So every single number really, really helps, even if you just follow me for free on Patreon, which is an option. A number is a number, so thank you guys for being here, seriously. I'm also an open book, so if you have questions, like, seriously, ask. If you have questions about your specific business, then yes, I will try to get a consulting fee out of you. But if it's a generic question that could help anybody but could apply to your business, I don't mind that. But if you ask, like, at you LLC, what about this product? I'm not going to answer that. I've only had like one person do that. I was like, oh no, go away, please. Thank you. All right, this was fun. Thursday is my Friday, so I might be hanging out periodically in Discord and the Peasant Social Hub in addition to maybe doing some drawing stuff. I think that would be fun. I'm just so nervous about it. I don't know. I see Otaka's sketch and like, I remember when that was, you know, I would have been really proud of that. And now, you know, like, I don't know. I'd be so picky. It's super inspiring. It is. It is. I need to lighten up, Francis. Yeah. Okay. This was super fun. I'll be around. I'll be hanging out. Thank you guys for sharing your art. Seriously. I love when you guys share stuff you're creating. It makes me happy, and everyone else that's lurking, I guarantee, enjoys it as well. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week, but more than likely you guys will see me in Discord today and maybe tomorrow. Okay. Take care of yourself. Bye.